My name is Keshwani. That's K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for the GMAT. We have been solving GMAT math problems out of this book here, GMAT Review, the official guide, the 13th edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 168. Page 168, and today is our lesson number 131. Let's turn to page 168. Is the second column that we're going to work on today. Number 118. Problem number 118. In problem number 118, they tell us that we have a club that has a member between 10 and 40. 10 and 40 members. We are told that the total, let's call it T, the total members of the club is somewhere, or right here, is between 10 and 40. So let's put it in terms of symbol, between 10 and 40. In other words, the total number of people is something more than 10 and something less than 40. Sometimes we are told that they are broken into 3 people at one table and 4 at others. That's how they sit. So you have one table where it can accommodate 3 people, and then they have all sorts of other tables in the room where 4 people can sit at each table, and that's how sometimes they sit. And at other times we are told, and at other times we are told, they said 3 at one table and 5 at other tables. The question is very simple. The question simply is, what is the total number of members? Let's see well, actually that's not the question. They go on to ask us something else. What they're asking us is that if it happens, if it just so happens that in the third scenario you have larger tables where each of the larger table could accommodate as many as 6 people, then the question they're asking here is, in that scenario, the total number of people that are there in the club, how would the arrangement end up? If all of them are sitting at the larger table where it can accommodate 6 people, then you have a whole bunch of people sitting around 6 of them each table, except the one table, the very last table, where they will have fewer than 6 people at that table. The question is, how many people are sitting at that table, the odd table where there are fewer than 6 people sitting there, even though the capacity of the table is 6. That's what they're asking. But in order for us to be able to answer that part, we have to first know how many people there are. Let's find out. You see, the total number of people that we have here is 3 at one table and 4 at all the others. Let's call it M. M is the number of tables. M is the number of tables that can accommodate 4 people. Similarly, here we have 3 at one table and 5 at all the other tables. Let's call it N. N for the number of tables that can accommodate 5 people. And of course, these two quantities are equal. These two quantities are equal because of the same number of people. What that tells us is that if you were to take our total number of people, see this equals T. This equals T. Let's put it together nicely. T equals 3 plus 4 times M, and it also equals 3 plus 5 times M. In other words, if you were to subtract 3 from the total number of people, you take your total number of people and take away 3, that should equal 4 times M, and it should also equal 5 times M. What does this tell us? What does this tell us? If T minus 3, if you were to take away 3 people from the total number, then the remaining number of people are such that you can evenly put them into around the tables of 5 each or 4 each, and you will have exactly 4 each at each table, or you can have 5 each at each of the table. What that tells us is that this number T minus 3, what this tells us is that this quantity T minus 3 must be some multiple of 20. It will have to be some multiple of 20. Why? Because it can be divided evenly into 5 and it can be divided evenly into 4. This quantity t minus 3 can be evenly divided into 4, or it can be evenly divided into 5, because we just found out that t minus 3 equals 4 times m and t minus 3 equals 5 times m, which means t minus 3 is nicely divisible, because m and n have to be integers. They have to be whole numbers, because they represent the number of tables. We can't have 3 and 1/8 of a table. So m is an integer, n is an integer, the number of tables. Therefore, t minus 3 has to be nicely divisible by 5, and has to be evenly divisible by 4. In other words, t minus 3 has to be divisible by 20. The only number that falls, I'm going to erase this part because now we need the room here. Let's continue here. The only number that falls between 10 and 40, that is divisible by 20 is 20. 20 is the only number that falls between 10 and 40 that is divisible by 20. And therefore, let's continue here. Let's continue this part here. And therefore, we must have 23 people in all. We must have 23 people in all. The total number of members is 23, because if you take away 3 from it, you have the total number of people 23. You ask 3 of them to sit at one table, so that's always seated at one table where you can accommodate 3 people, and then now there are 20 left. The 20 people that are left can be set at a smallest table, which can put 4 people to each. In other words, you will have 5 tables, each with 4 persons on it, at it rather, not on it. Or you can have these 20 people sitting around a medium-sized table, which can accommodate 5 people, in which case you will have 4 tables where you will have 5 people sitting around it. And the last scenario is where they're asking us what would happen if they have the largest size table where it can accommodate up to 6 people. Let's find out. So we have 23 people total, and you have tables that can accommodate 6 people. So that's 6 so far. A second table will accommodate another 6. That's 12 so far. A third table will accommodate another 6 people. So that's 3 tables so far with the maximum capacity, and then you will have one last table with only 5 people sitting on it. And that's the answer. The question was, how many people? Let's see how they phrase the question. I don't want to paraphrase it. I'm going to read the punchline here. It says, if they sit at tables with 6 members at each table, except one, and fewer than 6 members at the one table, if they sit 6 at each table, except one table, where fewer than 6 are sitting, the question is, how many members will be sitting at the table that has fewer than 6 people? Well, the answer is 5 members will be sitting at that table where they have fewer than 6 people. The answer is E. Answer is E. Let's do the next one, okay? We're spending too much time on it. Let's do the next one. Let's say we're done with this one. Just give me one brief second. I'll be right back. I'm still here. Alright. The next problem. I'm debating if I should go on to the next one, because next one is not it requires some work. Number 119. Let's do the next one tomorrow, okay? I don't want the videos to run into 20-30 minutes time, because I want to do number 119 and 120 together, because that way we can take care of the page. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.